Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ron White once again. I'm going to read you something about Louis Freeh, who is a complete fraud, and of course the NCAA, which is also a fraud because they relied on his lies and his Freeh report pertaining to the Penn State child abuse scandal. This article was written by Victor Thorne, an investigative reporter who has written more than 30 books. And I'm just going to read some excerpts from an article posted on June 22nd of 2012 by Mr. Thorne. Arguably, the federal government's biggest cover-up artist for the past 2 decades has been former Federal Bureau of Investigation Director Louis J. Freeh. When one considers his involvement in concealing criminal wrongdoing in the 1992 Ruby Ridge ambush, Waco, Vince Foster's murder, the Oklahoma City bombing, Hillary Clinton's Filegate fiasco, Montana's Freeman standoff, the Los Alamos espionage case of Wen Ho Lee, and even the 9/11 terrorist attacks, why would Penn State University, PSU Board of Trustees appoint him to lead their internal investigation of the Jerry Sandusky child molestation scandal, if for no other reason than to orchestrate another cover-up? Writing for Newsmax in 2002, Charles R. Smith clearly highlighted Freeh's ineptitude. The FBI director, Louis Freeh, oversaw the longest run of FBI public disasters in its entire history. Smith further explained how Freeh's compromised role ate away at the very core of this bureau, altering it from a federal law enforcement agency into a political joke. Another reporter, Howard Gleckman of Businessweek, echoed this sentiment even earlier in September 2000. Freeh has overseen a bureau that has bungled investigations of high-profile criminal cases and repeatedly misled probers and judges in legal procedures. Even more disturbing was Freeh's predilection to punish whistleblowers that stepped forward to expose illegal deeds within the government of other institutions. In light of this track record, how could anyone within the PSU system conceivably volunteer information if there already exists an atmosphere or framework that discourages such initiatives? Speaking of misleading judges, prior to accepting the FBI directorship recommended by former President Bill Clinton, Louis Freeh was a federal judge. Go figure. In the 1995 Oklahoma City bombing, it was Louis Freeh's FBI that immediately and intentionally confiscated every videotape from the Alfred P. Morrow Federal Building after explosions partially destroyed the structure. To this day, they've refused to release this crucial evidence that would show who precisely exited the Ryder truck that morning, which was parked in front of the building. If the most fundamental piece of evidence in this case has been concealed since 1995, will Freeh and his cohorts use a similar modus operandi to suppress witness testimony or other reports at PSU? Likewise, following OKC, FBI officials were assigned to arrest dual foreign intelligence agent Andreas Strassmeyer if he attempted to flee across the Mexican border. There were also abundantly clear indications that the Southern Poverty Law Center played a direct role in placing saboteurs within the militia enclave at Elohim City. Yet in both instances, Freeh's FBI dropped the ball, more than likely intentionally rather than through mere incompetence. Again, in terms of PSU's investigation of Sandusky, who had 52 different counts leveled against him, how can anyone place an inkling of trust in Freeh, especially since this case has so many explosive elements to it that could realistically bring down an entire university? Taken one step further, in a 2007 interview, Terry Nichols, an alleged co-conspirator in OKC, admitted that the attack was an FBI operation. In other words, it wasn't merely a sting gone bad, but a deliberate plot to create a desired effect. Then, to silence witnesses, both Officer Terrence Yakey and a prisoner named Kenneth Trentadue were murdered. All of these incidents occurred when Freeh oversaw the FBI, but the troubles with this man don't end here. Freeh served as a vice chairman of extremely crucial PSU donor MBNA that contributed more than $30 million to the university over a 16-year period. In fact, Freeh negotiated contracts between MBNA and PSU. There's more. A close business associate of Freeh's, Rick Struthers, served on the board of Sandusky's Second Mile Foundation. Moreover, according to the Philadelphia Reporter, Joseph D. Stefano, on November 21st, 2011, Struthers, a 1977 Penn State graduate, played a key role in managing the business relationship between the Penn State Alumni Association and MBNA. DeStefano added Struthers collected more than $10 million a year in stock and cash payments from MBNA in the bank's final years. When Free delivered a speech at PSU in 2005 to open a new business building, Struthers was in attendance after contributing $2 million to the project. Needless to say, with such close ties, a definite conflict of interest arises. Lastly, Free was appointed to lead the Sandusky internal investigation by PSU Board of Trustee member Kenneth Frazier, who is currently the chairman, president, and CEO of Merck, a big pharma company. To show how incestuous this situation is, when Joe Paterno coached his final game at PSU to win the all-time victory record on October 29, 2011, none other than Sandusky sat in PSU President Graham Spanier's luxury box at Beaver Stadium. Other Board of Trustees members were reportedly also present. Sandusky's presence in this luxury box came after Spanier and the trustees have been aware of a grand jury investigation of Sandusky since March 2011. And it just goes on and on. Louis Free was asked to resign by the George W. Bush administration for weak leadership. He resigned on June the 1st of 2011. Exactly 100 days later, 9/11 happened, and we all know what happened at the World Trade Center and, of course, at the Pentagon. Any questions? Obviously, this man is a complete fraud. And for Mark Emmert and the NCAA to slap the sanctions on Penn State University that they did is just unconscionable. There is a report in the Penn State Police Department's offices, the report number, the police report incident number is 41-98-1609. And for people who live close enough to Penn State, you can go to the Penn State Police Department and obtain a copy of that report. Or you should be able to do it under the Freedom of Information Act. And if they refuse to do it, you can go to court and compel them to do it. In a previous YouTube video, I highlighted that report. You are able actually to see it online. If you were to put in Google the 1998 Penn State Police Report, you'll be able to see it. You have to scroll down to the MSNBC site, and they have it posted on their website with the incident report number, and also you can actually read it. I think there are about 8 pages. The entirety of the report ran some 100 pages, but they did put the most important pages on the MSNBC website, wherein Assistant District Attorney Karen Arnold, I'm certain she had the green light to close the case from then DA Frank Ray Grycar, to close the case. Also, Center County Children's Services Agency was also involved in the investigation, and they are mentioned prominently in the police report. So Penn State did its job, met the mandate, the legal mandate to report, and that should have cleared Joe Paterno, Graham Spanier, Tim Curley, and Gary Schultz of all charges, because they did report this incident back in 1998. Detective Ronald Schreffler of the Penn State Police Department even had the mother of the 10-year-old boy who filed a complaint with the Penn State University Police Department that when her son came home, his hair was wet, and she asked him why, and he said he had taken a shower with Jerry Sandusky. She asked her son if Jerry Sandusky had done anything sexual to her son, and explained it to him in terms that he could understand as a 10 or 11-year-old boy, and the boy said no. But she filed her complaint anyway, and the police even had her to wear a wire, and she asked Jerry Sandusky, why did he take a shower with her son? And Jerry Sandusky admitted to taking a shower with the boy, and he said he did pick him up and put him in a bear hug, and that his private parts did make contact with the boy. No penetration, but he put a bear hug on him, and his private parts did make contact with the boy's body somewhere at some point. And then Jerry Sandusky said he wished he were dead on the recording. So there is explicit evidence that he has exercised misconduct with minor children. And there was another boy in a shower incident that same year. This was 1998. I think it was May 4th when this police report was made. But there have been other incidents in 1998 that also came to the attention of the Penn State Police Department. And something should have been done. They took it as far as they could take it with the DA of Center County. And also, the current governor, Tom Corbett, was the Attorney General of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania at the time. He could have convened a statewide investigative grand jury, as did Linda Kelly, his successor as the Attorney General. And that's how they were able to bypass any bias in the Center County DA's office by having the grand jury sit in Harrisburg, the state capital. And they called all of these witnesses and got an indictment and therefore put Jerry Sandusky on trial. Well, that could have been done in 1998 when then Attorney General Tom Corbett was the Attorney General. But he didn't opt to do that. So if he was so concerned about protecting children, where was that concern in 1998 when he had an opportunity to take Jerry Sandusky off the street and did nothing? But in 2011, Tom Corbett was determined to destroy Joe Paterno and the senior leadership at Penn State University, partially because he asked Joe Paterno to endorse him when he ran for governor. Now, Joe Paterno has been a lifelong Republican, but it was his custom not to endorse any gubernatorial candidate because he would have to work with the winner, the ultimate winner, whether that person was a Democrat or a Republican, or even in the Republican primary, between the various candidates. So he would just stay on the sidelines and not endorse anybody. But that annoyed Tom Corbett and put him in a position where he wanted to have a vendetta against Joe Paterno, and obviously we know the result of all that. But once again, the NCAA slapped these unprecedented sanctions on Penn State and pretty much destroyed Penn State, not just the football program, but the entire reputation and integrity of the entire institution when they actually met their mandate to report in 1998. And he glossed over the 1998 police report. He didn't give the police report identification number. He doesn't talk about the fact that it went to the DA's office, that Center County Children's Services were involved, and just acted like Penn State swept everything under the rug, and that's not the case, and therefore these sanctions imposed by the NCAA should be reversed. And if they're not reversed, then every university in this country, member and conference that are members of the NCAA should withdraw and make that a defunct organization and form a new one, because this one basically operates based on fraud and should not be supported any longer. And that's my commentary for today. So we'll see you next time. There will be a next time, because boy, it just never ends. Have a good one, my fellow Americans. God bless you.